Okay, I'm doing something a little different today and basically recording my descent into madness. I decided to switch projects and work on editing a project rather than drafting the project that I had originally been working on, which was Frigid Fever. Now I'm working on Forged Bliss. So here's the thing. I pressed print on my printer on my computer, but the printer is in Jason's office. So I didn't see until it was too late that this is what printed out. Like, I could kill someone with this if I bopped them on the head with it. What the crap? So, since I obviously can't carry all of this around, I am gonna, I guess, hole punch it and put it in a binder so that it'll be easier to carry. I don't even know. I'm scared of this, you guys. This was the first draft for Forged Bliss. Yeah, I don't remember it being this long. But it's been a couple years, so let's see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and get this in a place that I can actually use it. Done with that. 2 binders. It's 2 binders full. It is 356 pages. It's like 64,000 words, something like that. When I compiled it, it actually compiled it as like a mass market paperback for some reason. I don't know why. This is what annoys me about Scrivener Compile. It's so frustrating if you don't remember the right settings, and it's been forever since I've been in there. So yeah, now it's got these little like tiny pages and things, but we'll just see how it goes. I'm gonna start reading this, I guess, and see. But I'm actually gonna go at this a little bit of a different way than I was originally intending. I was gonna go back through it as an editor and just start editing it and try to figure that out. But I think I've been out of the world for too long, and I think that actually might be a benefit this time. So because I've been away from it for so long, I can actually go into it as a reader. So I'm basically gonna beta read my own book. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. So I'm just gonna write notes to myself like I would to another author that I was beta reading for, and go from there to see what I've got. Because, you know, I really remember loving this story, and it's just been so long, and I need to kind of jump back in and see where it is. And because I've been thinking about too many other little ideas that I could fit into the world, and I think that time has not necessarily been the best thing, because now I keep just constantly changing it, and it's one of those never-ending sort of battles. So I need to just read it, figure out where it is, go from there. Okay, so I'm about to get started on the first round of it. It is, what is today? Today is Tuesday the 9th. Tuesday the 9th? Yes, Tuesday the 9th. And so I'm starting the read-throughs now. I'm doing the moving right along with Brianna Morgan. Got my Wonderland candle burning, caffeine, and the manuscript. Let's do this. I've gotten about 73 pages into my reread through Forged Bliss, and whereas I started out being really, really critical of it, it's actually not as far off as I thought it was going to be. So that has been rather surprising. I was not expecting it to be as fleshed out, I guess, as it was. But I also noticed that a lot of the ideas I had for genders for the characters are very much shifting. I don't know what I think about that, but it's been interesting because a lot of these characters are going to be gender swapped. I think a lot of the archetypes I had in this story originally were kind of set on a mindset that is really old for me now. I feel like I've grown a lot as a person, and I have a lot more of an open mind, and just learning more about identity and how that can be so fluid and changing and it varied. It's really affected how I'm looking at all of these characters. So I guess it's a good thing because now I know that the story will be better for it, but it's also one of those bad things where it's like I can look at this and think, oh, in another couple of years, I could be looking back at the story and thinking the exact same thing. that I could look back on it and see like, oh wow, I could have done that way better. But I guess that's kind of just being a writer. That's the whole thing. I mean, if we're not improving, what are we doing? So we're always going to look back on our older stories and think, oh, I could have done that better, because we're not the same writers that we were back then. It's like if we knew what we knew now, of course we would write that story in a different way. It's really interesting because these books that we're writing are kind of time capsules to who we were all throughout our lives. And I find that such a fascinating way to look at it, that these are little captured moments in our lives, even though the characters aren't us, hopefully they're not self-inserts, but even though the story isn't necessarily about us, it might deal with themes that we understand and that we've experienced in our lives, but to see how we view the world and how that changes over time, from draft to draft, from book to book, it's kind of like magic, I don't know. These are just the weird thoughts that come to my head. So I'm going to keep going with reading this, but I'm having a lot more hope for the story than I was when I first started, so that's a plus. I'm hoping to finish reading it by the end of the month. That was my goal unofficially for Camp NaNoWriMo that's going on this month. And I figured if I reread through 19 pages a day, then I should get to the end on time. And so far I've been able to do that, so that's a good thing. I'm finding myself getting excited about writing again. And that's something I haven't experienced in a really long time, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Let me know down in the comments a book that either you wrote or a book that you read that somehow felt like a time capsule in your life. That if you were to go back to that book, you could see yourself again and how you were at that time. All right, I'm gushing enough. I'll see you all next time. Bye.